All right, Lucas and Cory here of the Count Out. We're here to talk about AJ Styles leaving TNA. Now, when I heard the news, I didn't know if I should believe it or not, because I know they're having the whole storyline with he won the title at Bound for Glory. You know, he's going to make Dixie pay, and he left the title with the championship. And then they had a tournament to crown a new champion, which turned out to be Magnus. And then Magnus and AJ are going to unify the titles, right?
Yeah.
Or find out who the real champion is. And I thought at first this was all just, fake, and it's just like, oh, it's not really happening. But now he's going back to Ring of Honor, and when you start going to Ring of Honor, that's a bigger, that's not just an independent show that he's going to, that's more of a company-based thing. So now I'm starting to believe it a little bit more. But it's still, really weird to think AJ's not going to be in TNA.
Well, I made a video about this a while ago on my Do You Know What I'm Saying channel.
Don't plug that.
I'm not plugging it, I'm just mentioning it.
Yeah, well, you plugged it.
I did. I guess I did. And I just talked about how, because he put a Facebook status out, being like, hey, WWE, TNA, ROH, Japan, where do you want to see AJ Styles at? And then obviously when, I thought I heard that he signed a new contract. Or I guess their contract deals were going good, so I thought it was just part of trying to believe in the storyline. But AJ Styles just recently said that he bothers him that everyone still believes that this is just part of the storyline, that he's really still a part of TNA, which he claims he's not.
Well, let's keep in mind, he's been with TNA since day one. And this storyline does have to do with him leaving the company. So it's kind of, like a given that people are going to be like, oh, he's still in TNA.
Oh, absolutely. But the thing that obviously what we want to talk about is AJ Styles leaving TNA a good thing? Now,
it's a bad thing.
Or a bad thing. Good thing or bad thing. Now, when we first came across TNA, we saw Sting, Lex Luger was supposed to be there. Here we're not. AJ Styles is there, and I loved AJ Styles right from when I first
That's when we saw one of those weekly pay-per-views. We ordered it. It was good.
And so I became AJ Styles.
I wonder if we have the tape anywhere of that.
Probably somewhere. But, I became a fan of AJ Styles, and he was obviously one of my favorite wrestlers throughout the TNA. Ever since I watched TNA, he's always been my favorite. But, obviously, now he's gone. He's left. And a lot of people say they're going to stop watching TNA. What?
Yeah, so they're going to stop watching TNA? Continue?
A lot of people say they'll stop watching TNA if AJ Styles leaves. But, now, is it such a bad thing now? And I don't think it is. I don't like that AJ Styles left. I love AJ Styles. I think he's an awesome wrestler, awesome athlete. I think he's all around crazy awesome dude. But I don't think it's as...
Don't say that.
I don't think it's as bad that he left TNA now.
I actually think it is because he's pretty much the face of TNA. He always has been. Like, you can say, oh, Jeff Hardy is. Like, you can say... And yeah, it's good that they're pushing, younger talents like Magnus and all that. It's not that Magnus doesn't deserve the push, but AJ is such an established guy, and he was kind of the lasting of TNA's past. Like, TNA's changed so much, but he's still been there through thick and thin, and that's someone people can relate to because he's been there since the beginning. Him, James Storm, and I think we're the only two that are still with TNA that were there since the very beginning.
Yeah, but the only thing with that, though, is that AJ Styles really isn't as much of a face as we think he is.
No, he sells merchandise.
Yeah, but he's not as much. They don't really push him as much as, the face of the company that, hey, this is our champion, this is our guy. You saw WCW had their face of the company.
Who was WCW?
I would say Goldberg.
Goldberg,
probably. WWE had Hogan, then they had The Rock, then they had John Cena. Obviously, John Cena's everywhere. And AJ Styles, they really didn't do that. They put him in, really crappy storylines. They made him, of an offshoot of Ric Flair, and then they had him with the Claire Lynch story. As of recently, just now recently, obviously, he became the top star again with his Lone Wolf gimmick. But, there's so much talent in TNA now. There's so many other guys. You got Magnus. I was going to say Samoa Joe, but that's not really much. You got Aries, Rude.
We should make a video about why we don't like Samoa Joe.
There's so many good guys they have going on there. EC3, who's building up right now. There's so much going on there.
The future is looking bright for TNA, but I think it would just help if AJ was still there because AJ still has a lot left in him, and people still tune in to see AJ. There's no doubt. The crowd was still really behind AJ at the TNA yesterday.
No, they absolutely were, but realizing even myself, I didn't watch TNA each week going, hey, when's AJ coming back? I didn't think in my mind, oh, where's AJ? When is he coming back? Every once in a while I thought, oh, I wonder when AJ's going to come back, but it wasn't like a consistent, hey, where's AJ?
I get you. I don't know. I just think that it would be best if they kept him around. He's a company guy. He's always been with the company. I think they should respect that. Whatever happened, it was probably something to do with money.
That's what I think is interesting, because TNA's struggling with money, and this is what a lot of people I saw arguing about, and I think it's kind of stupid. that they were saying that I guess AJ wanted more money and they just didn't want to give it to him. They're like, no, we're not gonna give it to you. You're not worth it. Which is interesting because obviously AJ's been there since day one. He's done a lot for the company. You think that they do that for him? I mean, they gave all the money to Hogan and Bischoff that they wanted.
Yeah.
And you obviously we see now they didn't.
We
really
don't actually even know. We don't
well.
even know exactly. Maybe AJ just wanted the same amount of money and they tried to lowball him. I mean, you never know.
Well, yeah, that's
we
true.
can't act like we know what's actually going on because the only people that know is AJ Styles and TNA. They're the only ones that know what's truly going on. Maybe
I mean, this is all just speculation. Well, I mean, what you hear on the internet, but yeah, I mean,
we can't trust what you read on the internet. So who knows? Maybe AJ is still in TNA for all we know. And they could be totally just fooling us. I mean, let's keep in mind this is the same company that made everyone believe that Devon was gone from TNA, and then he returned as part of Aces and Ace, and that everyone was really like, whoa. I mean, no one expected that.
Well, that's what wrestling does a lot of times. I mean, they really, they tell us one thing, and all of a sudden, boom, nothing happens.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they try their best to kind of hide those things with the internet, obviously, and...
Yeah. The only thing that makes this maybe more believable is that he might actually be gone, is that these were pre-taped, right? So AJ next week is going to be facing Magnus, right? So, I mean, if he's doing this now and it's supposed to be part of a storyline, it wouldn't make sense because he's still there. Unless they're going to say that, yes, this was taped ahead of time. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. Overall, though, I think that it's definitely a punch. Nah, that's a bad word. It's definitely a blow to TNA to have AJ gone. They'll be able to recover. It's not the end of TNA. It's not the death of TNA. But it's definitely just another bad thing that's happened to them. I mean, you can't keep on having things happen like this. Guys leaving and all that. Now, Jeff Hardy isn't actually gone, but still, he's going to be gone because he can't go on the UK tour. But, they have to be able to sure they can sign guys like AJ Styles because AJ Styles is one of the faces. No matter whether you think it or not, he is definitely the lifeblood of the company. Him, James Storm, Bobby Roode, Samoa Joe, Kurt Angle now, they're all like the lifeblood. I mean, they've been there, they're established, and it's good that they're bringing up younger guys. They got guys like Magnus, they got guys like Kenny King, who hasn't really been around, and all that. But still, you got to have those guys that have been around there for a while. You need to have veterans. And it's okay if they have, I know I'm going on to the little rant here, it's okay if they have ex-WWE guys, too. That's not a big deal, but as long as they have a good mixture.
I just heard what you just mentioned. You're like, all these old guys, Kenny King, this. You didn't mention one person, which I'm surprised you didn't mention. Chris Sabin.
Chris Sabin? Yeah.
Chris Sabin's been there for a while.
Yeah, Chris Sabin.
And you just totally didn't mention him. He just didn't matter.
Yeah, Chris Sabin's been there for a while. Shark Boy's been there for a while, too.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That Sabin storyline's horrible right now.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes off. But, so that's what we think about AJ.
Aries is still an idiot.
That's what we still think about. The whole AJ Styles leaving, if it's good or bad. If
what do you guys think? You guys can, send a comment down below. You can email us. Our email is thecountout@gmail.com, or you can follow us on Twitter and tweet at us or send us a message and all that. And maybe if you guys want to ask questions to us, we'll do a little Q&A or something and talk about the whole AJ thing. We can answer your questions for you about our opinions. So what I'm trying to say is if you have topics you want us to talk about, send it to us and we'll make a video about it if we feel like it's interesting, which it probably is because you guys are very interesting, and that's a good thing.
Absolutely.
Stay classy.
You guys rock and roll.